for me, ever. So thank you. I just want to take another second. It's really, wow, thank you. Hello, I'm Rabbi Ronnie Keller, here, one of the rabbis here at Congregation B'nai Israel. So honored and thrilled to be here with you tonight. So honored that we get to be here on this special night to celebrate so many wonderful people, able to celebrate all of us, all of you, in all of the work that we do as a Jewish people, and of course, for Israel. Huge thanks, of course, to Mark Rubin, who helps to put all of this together, and for allowing us to be here tonight, and also for the invitation for us to be able to do this here at Congregation B'nai Israel. My remarks, I'll keep it under an hour for everyone. I just want to share with you that there's this beautiful piece of text from this week's Torah portion. It talks about the connections, the Torah portion of Chayei Sarah, the connections that will be made with Rebecca and with Isaac. And there's this moment where some camels need watering in our text. And Rebecca actually volunteers, and Eliezer, who is sort of the appointee from Abraham, is being sent, and there's this moment that the camels need to be watered, and through this connection between Eliezer and Rivka, all these camels get watered. And it's a very special moment because it's a crucial moment, I think, in the text where if they missed it, if they missed each other, it all happens at a well. If they missed each other, if they missed the action that they were each part of it, if they missed their interaction, then none of the story gets perpetuated. Then Isaac doesn't marry Rebecca, and then nothing else really happens for us. And so I think there are critical moments that we have to notice as critical moments for us to perpetuate our story. And I think that everyone in this room understands that in these crucial and critical moments, and in all these moments, when we recognize them, and we then connect with one another, we then make huge differences. And that is, I think, what we're doing. And now, unfortunately, since October 7th, our work is even more crucial. And we have to continue to recognize all of these moments over and over and over and over again. And so, I hope that we will. I hope that we do. As the sun sets, it's day 413, that there are hostages in the hands of Hamas. 413 days. Think about what each and every one of us has done in the last 413 days. How many showers we've had, how many dinners we've had, how many times we've been able to hug the people that we care about. 413 days. And so it's this connection and our Jewish community, this one and the ones beyond, that allow us to help and to support Israel through all of these times. We do so here at Congregation B'nai Israel, through our congregation, and we do so through our brand new initiative, our brand new auxiliary called Am Yisrael Chai, where we find ways to support Israel in every possible section of our synagogue. And so such is the mission of Israel Bonds, supporting causes and supporting Israel. And so I hope that we will notice these crucial moments, not just literal ones where camels need watering, but crucial moments in this moment and moving forward where we can be strong together and always support Israel. Am Yisrael Chai. It's my pleasure to hand the microphone to this guy.
Thank you, Rabbi Keller. Good evening, everyone. I want to welcome you to the largest Israel Bond event in my almost 35 years here at Israel Bonds. So thank you all for being here. We have 14 synagogues, and we have a wonderful community honoree in Tom Nadler. We all know that this has been a difficult year for Israel and for the Jewish people. And we are here to celebrate our support and unity for Israel tonight. But we celebrate with heavy hearts as well. I want to thank the community for your response to the war Israel is facing. We have supported Israel through Israel Bonds like no other community in the world. Since the 7th of October, our community has invested $1.1 billion. No other community in the world responded more strongly than we have. Tonight, you're going to hear some incredible announcements of Israel Bond investments made from our governmental partners. Please don't let those large numbers prevent you from making your investment in Israel Bonds. Every investment is important. Whether you're buying an online bond for $36, or through our office, or through your IRA, or through your broker, or through your trust. Without your support, and thousands of other families who buy Israel Bonds in our community, those sales wouldn't be possible. Please don't leave here tonight without making a pledge to buy one bond or multiple bonds. Because of the size of our crowd, I ask you to put your name and phone number, email address, and the amount you're interested in investing, and give it to one of the Israel Bonds folks, or me, and we'll follow up with you in the coming days. I'm happy to announce that this beautiful evening will not cost the state of Israel one penny. Between the couverts that you paid and our generous sponsors, we have covered the costs for this evening. And I want to thank our sponsors, our platinum sponsors, DX Web, Aline and Louis Stahl. Thank you for your support. Jamie Danberg of Danberg Properties of Boca Raton. Thank you, Jamie. Our gold sponsors, the Place of Hope, Charles Bender, and Restoration Bridge, Jason Mandel and Dan West. And now we begin our program with a special guest whose name doesn't even appear on the program. Our guest is Jimmy Patronis, the CFO of Florida. He is delaying a family vacation to be with us tonight. And Jimmy, I want you to know we appreciate that. I met Jimmy when he was a freshman state rep from Panama City, skinny kid with curly black hair. And those of you who know Jimmy, as soon as he found out who I was and where I was from, what did he do? He hugged me, because that's what Jimmy does. And he's been that same sweet, wonderful guy, even if he doesn't look exactly the same. I would like to call him up now because Jimmy has some very special remarks and announcement to make for us tonight to kick off this evening. So without further ado, my brother, Jimmy Patronis.
Good evening. It's an honor to be here with you. I want to start with a little bit of a somber note. We've got two Palm Beach County Sheriff's deputies that lost their lives today, and a third that is fighting for life. And our honoree tonight works for the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. Sheriff Keith Pierce is here today from St. Lucie County. And I just think about the gathering we have here today. This is the beautiful thing about the state of Florida. People will not invest, they will not grow, they will not expand their businesses, they will not have special occasions just like this if it's not safe. And so I would like to ask those in the room, for our law enforcement in the back of the room, Keith, our honoree up here, if we could please give them a round of applause. Thank you for doing that. I tell people we have occasions like this for gathering. There's fellowship, there's nice conversations that'll be taking place, and you think about somebody is standing by, ready for anybody to dial 911 at a moment's notice. And we take this peace of mind and safety and security for granted here in America. We really do. So anyway, I just thank you for that honor and respect for these men and women that wear the uniform. Mark, thank you for that introduction. I leaned over to Doc, he's your chairman, and I said, is Mark wearing a gator yarmulke? And I'm thinking, I didn't know that you could have a vanity yarmulke. And so he's trying to influence me to invest more money on behalf of the state of Florida into Israel bonds. I'm a Florida State graduate. We're getting off to the wrong foot, my friend. No, in all seriousness, Mark has been a dear friend. When I first took the job, you know, Jeff Atwater told me, amazing man. Jeff Atwater says, he says, I'm going to tell you, Mark Rubin's going to pay you a visit. And it wasn't 24 hours later, Mark was in my office making an introduction to me and encouraged me why the importance of the state of Florida investing in Israel bonds. And we have enjoyed our relationship, we've enjoyed our friendship. He was family. I met his brother tonight, and we're going to continue that relationship. And I told him, I promise I'm going to make more investments. We're sitting right now at my office, we put about $250 million, not as much as Joe Abruzzo has put in. Joe Abruzzo, record holder. And you know, one thing that I realized, guilt is a good thing, right? Guilt is a good, especially in this audience, guilt is a good thing. So if I could introduce y'all all to the newest clerk of Miami-Dade County, Juan Francis Park. Will you please stand up? Please make him feel at home. Guilt is a good thing. Thank you for being here, my friend. Stu will have a nice conversation with you later. But thank you for your leadership and all your hard work. I appreciate all the opportunity to be here. Dani, it's great to see you again. In the historic numbers, we will continue to make those investments, I assure you. But the trauma that our greatest ally in the Middle East is going through right now is something that weighs heavy on my heart. I'm of Greek heritage, and there's one thing that everybody in this room tends to really appreciate, that is family. And you know, when families in Israel are hurting, then my family hurts the same way. I can't imagine the trauma, especially those that were personally impacted, what you're going through and still going through and will continue to go through. And just know that the state of Florida unequivocally stands with our families in Israel. So I was going to try to keep it short, but I've got to brag a bit about Tom. So I've gotten to know Tom over the last year, and just more and more, I've just seen the type of man that he is. It is so exciting to be here tonight with you on stage to see this honor bestowed on my dear friend Tom. And you know, and again, a public servant who works for the citizens of Palm Beach County. And then we've got another one, Dave Ehrenberg. He's Dave. No, in all honesty, Dave and I got to serve together in the legislature. You know, both he and Joe, just dear friends, but again, public servants. And the room is full of public servants. Sarah, thank you for being here tonight. Make these public servants feel guilty. Guilt is good. They have control over tax dollars that can go into investments that can be fruitful returns, especially when we are helping our dear friends in the Middle East. Anyway, great evening to be here with you, and God bless.
Well, Jimmy kind of took the surprise away. I wanted to introduce the clerk of Miami-Dade County, but Jimmy already did it, but I still would like to invite Juan Fernandez Barkin, the newly elected clerk and comptroller of Miami-Dade County, who has some remarks and some announcements.
Thank you, Juan. Thank you very much. Jimmy, I can tell you that being Catholic, you don't have to talk to me about guilt. Right? You know, 7 years, all guys, Jesuit high school. Drilled in my head. But it's an honor to be here. My name is Juan Fernandez. I was a state representative. I was appointed by the governor to be the clerk of the court and comptroller for Miami-Dade County when there was a vacancy, and I subsequently won this last election. It's an honor to be here. Thank you. And I'm very, very, very proud to announce that next year, Miami-Dade County will be purchasing an additional $75 million. Not as many as Clerk Abruzzo.
And I get credit for yours.
Yes. But it's an honor to be here. Thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to meeting many of you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Juan. Welcome. All right. Now my pleasure to call up our South Palm Beach County Israel Bond Chair, Tom Kaplan.
Thank you, Mark. You know, in sports, they use the terminology GOAT for greatest of all time, okay? That's Mark Rubin, our superstar. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so happy to see what large crowd that we have here tonight for this auspicious occasion. We have 14 synagogues that are representing our community here, and everyone is here, Tom Nadler, to honor you this evening. And Tom is the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office Community Service Manager, and he is participating in this year's Unity event. Congratulations to our community for understanding what unites us as Jews and lovers of Israel overrides all differences. And our love and support for Israel is the most important thing of all, especially in these very, very difficult times. I promise you a fast-paced, informative, joyous, and memorable evening. And I will begin by recognizing our special guests that are here this evening, some of them who you've already heard from. Dani Naveh, who is over here, who is the president and CEO of Israel Bonds, and the First Lady of Israel Bonds, his wife, Silly Naveh, and we thank you very much. We're fortunate to have the National Chair of Israel Bonds as a member of our community, Dr. Andy Hutter. Thank you, Andy. And his lovely wife, Barbara. Stuart Garowitz, hi Stu. You know, he's fantastic, been part of the leadership team for forever, and he's the National Vice President of Sales. Zev Rubenstein, Israel Bonds Vice President for Business Development. Sherry Stern, Israel Bonds National Marketing Director. And then one of our other superstars here in South Florida, Palm Beach County, Florida, the United States, is Norm Taplin. And he's terrific. Matt Mashler is over there, and Matt is going to do something fun later, I think. Yeah, so that's great. So Matt Mashler is the Vice Chair of Israel Bonds for Palm Beach County. Jimmy Patronis, thank you again for being here. We very much appreciate it. And he has been a supporter for so long and come to many, many of these events, and we appreciate it. We have Mac Bernard here, State Senator-elect and the current Palm Beach County Commissioner. Peggy Gossett-Seidman, Florida House of Representatives. Deborah Tendrich, State Representative-elect for District 89. David Silvers, outgoing Florida House of Representative. Teresa Breyer, Chief of Staff for Congressman Jared Moskowitz. Thank you for being here. Najib LeBlanc, Chief of Staff for Congresswoman Sheila Kerfelis-McCormick. We have Felicia Goldstein, Chief of Staff for Congressman Lois Frankel, Joe Abruzzo, who we will hear more from, and Joe's, you know, the superstar, also with Mark. They're 13. So Joe, who is our clerk and comptroller of Palm Beach County. We met Juan Fernandez Barquin, and thank you again for being here, and thank you for that announcement that you made. We appreciate that. My friend, and I still haven't really found out what David's going to do when he retires from, but maybe while I'm sitting next to him tonight, I can finally get
get an answer. But David Ehrenberg, who has been so supportive of Israel and Israel bonds and so many things that we do in the Jewish community here in Palm Beach County, and he is our state attorney. And Alicia Cox, Palm Beach County State Attorney-elect, who will be taking over David's position. Greg Weiss, Palm Beach County Commissioner, District 3. Sarah Baxter, Palm Beach County Commissioner, District 6. Joel Flores, Palm Beach County Commissioner, District 3 elect. Congratulations. Yvette Drucker, Vice Mayor of the City of Boca Raton. Fran Naklis, Boca Raton Council Member. Mark Wiegner, Boca Raton Council Member. Andy Thompson, Boca Raton City Council Member. Keith Pearson, Sheriff of St. Lucie County. Rich Del Toro, Sheriff-elect of St. Lucie County. Eric Flowers, Sheriff of Indian River County. Noel Steffen, Sheriff of Okeechobee County. So let's have a round of applause for our We will begin our program this evening with the Hatikva and the Star Spangled Banner, and I represent our cantors that are representing different synagogues to come up to the bima and lead us in song.
Alleluia. thank you to all of our cantors. Your voices are an inspiration to us. I ask that you remain on the bema as I invite the rabbis from our participating synagogues to come forward. And with the rabbis from, and we've got a list here, from B'nai Torah congregation, Rabbi Steinberg, Rabbi Eppelbaum, and Rabbi Susskind. From Boca Raton Synagogue, Rabbi Goldberg and Rabbi Josh Brody. From Congregation B'nai Israel, thank you, Rabbi Keller, Rabbi Kahn. Congregation Sherei Kodesh, Rabbi Baum. Congregation Torah Or, Rabbi Yasker. Delray Orthodox Synagogue, Rabbi Frankel. Delray Torah Center, Rabbi Saunders. Temple Anshe Shalom, Rabbi Raphael Adler. Temple Bethel of Boca Raton, Rabbi Levin. It's my rabbi. Temple Beth Shalom, Rabbi Gold. Temple Sinai, Rabbi Moss. And I would also like to ask, we have two honorees tonight representing different congregations, and I'd like to ask the two honorees who are also rabbis, Rabbi Michael Klein and Rabbi Sam Frankel, to also join us. If there are any other rabbis in the house, retired, unaffiliated right now, we still have a few spots up here. Please come and join us.
Rabbi Simon!
Okay, I'm going to ask the cantors now if they would sing the prayer, and after the prayer has been sung, we'll invite the honorees to come up to the keynote.
I'm Cantor Mama the Fishman from B'nai Torah congregation, Boca Raton. Honoree Rock from Temple Bethel. Michelle Auslander Cohen, Temple Bethel.
Cantor Kenneth Cohen from Temple Anshe Shalom. Cantor Peter Halpern, Temple Beth Kodesh.
If you have your blue card, you can join us in the reading, please.
Avinu Shabbat Rock and Redeemer of the people of Israel, bless the state of Israel with its promise of redemption. Shield it with your love, spread over it a shelter of your peace. Guide its leaders and advisors with your light and true truth. Help them with your good counsel. Strengthen the hands of those who defend our holy land. Deliver them and crown their efforts with triumph. Bless the land with peace and its inhabitants with lasting joy. And let us say, Amen.
Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. Od Avinu, Od Avinu, Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu, Od Avinu, Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu, Od Avinu, Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu, Od Avinu, Od Avinu Chai.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And how special is that having all of these leaders of our Jewish community up here? A round of applause for our rabbis and our cantors.
So nice to see you.
Now I would like all of our honorees who are representing the 14 different congregations that we mentioned to please come up to the bima so that I may introduce you, and we have special plaques to share with the honorees. First, from Anshe Amuna congregation, Cheryl Stillman and Myron Barrett. From B'nai Torah congregation, Elsa and Eric Rosenberg. From congregation Boca Raton Synagogue, Rena and Dr. David Makeover. Having the home court advantage here at Congregation B'nai Israel, we invite forward Amy and Harry Seidel. The honoree from Congregation Sherry Kodesh, Richard Berry. From Congregation Torah Or, Sharon and Fred Lisker. From Delray Orthodox Synagogue, Rabbi Sam and Sharon Frankel. From Delray Torah Center, Iris and Alan Weiss. The honorees from Temple Anshe Shalom, Barbara Abramowitz. From Temple Bethel of Boca Raton, Eleanor and Jay Josephson. From Temple Beth Kodesh, Ann and Larry Cass. From Temple Beth Shalom, Nora and Michael Hammerman. From Temple Sinai, Joan and Stanley Rieger. From Temple Torah, Emmett, Rabbi Michael and Lina Carter. out the last plaque here. I have the honor of presenting our Unity for Israel class of 2024.
Come nice and tight. Everyone come nice and tight. A little tighter. I'm just going to come on the other side.
Gotta have a picture.
Then you'll be blocking everyone. We don't want that. Nice and tight, guys. Everyone come on in. All right. Right here, big smiles.
Thank you. As everyone up here takes their seats, it's my pleasure to invite Norm Taplin to the podium, and Norm will introduce our special speaker.
Before we bring on Norman, I wanted to just say that the honorees were chosen because of the efforts and work that they do on behalf of their synagogue, on behalf of the community, and on behalf of Israel. So I want that to be understood, and we appreciate you and for what you do for your synagogues and our community. Norman.
Before I introduce a very special person, a couple things. Tom Nadler, we're very proud of you. Congratulations. Appreciate everything you do. Also, our CFO, Jimmy Patronis, for him to come here at this time, at a very hectic period in Tallahassee that all of us have read about. He's always been there for us. CFO, thank you. And just a very quick story about the first time that the CFO came to an event like this a number of years ago when he was first CFO. He brought a check that said $10 million on it. Do you remember that? And so anyway, you were introduced, and Mark Rubin ended up with the check, and everybody thought he was you for about 6 months. So, anyway, is there a sheriff or politician in town? Anyway, at this point, it's my great pleasure, thank you, Tom, and it's my great pleasure to introduce one of the most dynamic players in the financial and governmental arena in the state of Israel, who I've known and worked for many years. It seems like yesterday that our next speaker introduced me to the world of Israel, many Israeli dignitaries, as well as the ambassador to the United Nations at the Israeli Embassy in Washington, D.C. in March 2023. The group in attendance that evening was about the same size as the large group here tonight. My family and I will always remember that greeting, and tonight I'm delighted to be able to reciprocate on behalf of my friend. We've worked together on many projects for the state of Israel, including the creation of the Israel Council for Government and Industry. The council has sold billions of dollars of bonds to U.S. governmental entities, including large purchases by many state treasurers, led by our own CFO, Jimmy Patronis. And after the war started on October 7th, we called the CFO. He was the first one to pledge the purchase of Israel bonds in a very significant amount, and that number continues to increase, so please show me appreciation. And we're also pleased that our rock star, Joe Bruzzo, is here. He let Jimmy get ahead of him, but it didn't last for long. And now he's the largest purchaser of Israel bonds in the United States. Dani Naveh's credentials speak for themselves as president and CEO of the Development Corporation for Israel Bonds since 2021. Dani has excelled in the key positions he's held in government and business. I talked to Rabbi Feldman today in Israel, and I told him what we're doing tonight, and he said that Dani is one of the most steadfast, dedicated leaders in the state of Israel, and I've gotten to know him. His accomplishments include serving as a cabinet secretary, and he led the Israeli side of the steering committee with the Palestinian Authority, resulting in 2 major agreements. He also played a central position in the continuing dialogue between the United States, especially during the current critical time frame. In the business sector, his resume is unbelievable. He was the chairman of the board of Cloud Insurance and Finance, the founder and chairman of the board of SureTech Investments, a public partnership in InsurTech and FinTech industries. As you've heard, Danny's married to the lovely Silly and father to Atay, Alay, and Yael. Did I get that right? Pretty close, okay. Please give me a hearty welcome to our leader who has broken every record for the sale of Israel bonds over its 75 years history, especially since October 7th. Please greet the CEO of Israel Bonds, Dani Naveh.
It's such an intro and such a great crowd in shul. I feel like I'm back in my bar mitzvah. Well, it's really a great crowd here, and it's heartwarming for me to be here with such great supporters of the State of Israel. And I can tell you, it's so moving. I think, if my wife Tzili allowed me to say, a guy who is very close to us right now, as we speak, is leading his soldiers in a very special operation in Lebanon. I wish he was here with us tonight to see how strong the support he gets from such a great community like yours. How much support the State of Israel and the brave IDF soldiers get from such great supporters of the State of Israel around the United States of America, and in particular over here. Dear friends, and it's a great pleasure for me to be here with our chairman of the board, Dr. Andrew Haller. And I would like to say, in Israel, how you know if someone became an Israeli, if you start addressing him on a first name basis. So for example, in Israel, people don't call the Prime Minister Mr. Netanyahu, they just call him Bibi. And the President, they don't call him Isaac Herzog, they just call him Bushi. So I would like to say, Jimmy, yes. Joe, Juan, you are all one of us, and you deserve for a great, great thanks from the people of Israel for standing strong for the people of Israel. It's more than a year that has passed since that terrible day of October 7th. And we still struggle to comprehend really the unimaginable atrocities that were committed on that day. And we ache for the hostages still held in Gaza. We ache for the brave IDF soldiers who sacrificed their life for their country. We ache for the thousands of injured soldiers who would bear the scars of this war for the rest of their life. More than a year has passed, and Israel really has achieved significant victories against its enemies. Think about it. Iran. These guys in Iran, they had a grand plan. The target of that plan is the destruction of the State of Israel. They even had a billboard in Tehran with the number 2040. They aim to destroy the State of Israel by the year of 2040. And the foundations, the pillars foundations for this strategic plan of the Iranians was based on three really important factors. First, having Hezbollah on the northern border of Israel. Second, having Hamas on the southern part of Israel. Why? Why do they need Hamas and Hezbollah? They don't care for the Palestinians, they don't care for the people of Lebanon. They needed Hezbollah and Hamas, those terrorist organizations, to try to deter Israel. Why was it so important for them to deter Israel? Because in the center of their grand plan is their attempt to achieve nuclear weapon in order to destroy one day the state of Israel. And look what happened. Although the heavy toll that we have paid, but think about that. A year has passed, Hamas is almost gone, Hezbollah suffered significant loss. We really dismantled the main infrastructure of those two terrorist organizations. The leaders of Hamas and Hezbollah, all the leaders of these organizations are gone. And based on what I read in the international press, Iran today, thanks to the attack that was committed by Israeli Air Force, is exposed dramatically. So think about their terrible plan of destruction of the state of Israel, where they were like a year ago, and where they are really today. And I can tell you, as you all know, that the toll is very heavy. The toll of the Israelis is very heavy. I visited Israel just recently, and I'm sure that many of you have visited Israel since October 7th. And what you can see is amazing. That although the heavy toll, the spirit of the Israelis is really strong and steadfast. The spirit of the Israelis is unbreakable. And the toll is terrible. Every day, this terrible news about another beautiful boy that is getting killed, or such a heavy loss of so many families in Israel. And when people ask me, please explain us, how come the Israeli spirit is so strong and steadfast? I will tell you, people in Israel understand that this is not just a war between Israel and Iran's proxy terrorist organizations. This is a war on the right of our beloved Jewish homeland to exist. And this is not just a war against the enemies of the Jewish people. This is a war against the enemies of civilization. And let's not be mistaken. For the Iranians and their proxies, Israel is a little Satan, and the United States of America is a big Satan. So what shall we do? It's very simple. It's very basic. We should all stand together against our joint enemies. This is our mission. And I'm confident that if we do so, if we stand strong against our enemies, they will not prevail, and we are going to win this important war. At the same time, there is another concern that we need to pay attention to. Especially since October 7th last year, we have seen the ugly faces of the anti-Semitic groups and the BDS groups. And I don't know if you are familiar with that, but the BDS group ran a campaign calling for divestment from Israel. And I will tell you, people ask me what is the best way to address them, what is our answer for the BDS group. I will tell you, if they call for divestment, we should double down on our investments. If they call for divestment, we should increase our investment. This is our answer for our enemies. And for 7 decades already, Israel Bond's mission has been to support the state of Israel economy. We have raised during the years, listen to this number, we have raised during the years more than $53 billion for the state of Israel. $53 billion. Ushering Israel into a vibrant startup nation. Yet, since October 7th, our mission has felt more urgent, more vital, like never before. The silver lining is that October 7th has galvanized support for Israel like never before. We started a special campaign on October 7th, and I'm privileged and glad to have here among us the key people on my team. Stuart Garwitz, our National Director for Sales, Shiri Stem, our CMO, Zev Rubinstein, my Vice President for Business Development. Great team that we have. So we started that campaign on October 7th. And since that heinous day, we raised globally more than $3.6 billion. Think about that, in a year. And what a great part you have in there. What a great part, really. And these funds have been an essential lifeline in ensuring Israel's economy resilience. And each and every one of you can really take pride in knowing that you play such an important role in supporting the state of Israel at this critical time of need. Yet it's not over, guys. It's not over. The state of Israel still needs all of us. And this is our mission, to continue our support for the state of Israel. And I'm confident that together we will continue this support for Israel and will make Israel even more strong and more prosperous than before for generations to come. Am Yisrael Chai. Dear friends, I would like now to call upon the stage my dear friend, one of yours, our chairman of the board, Dr. Andrew Harder.
Thank you, Dani. It's nice to be in a place where I'm not the only one with a walker. But I'm standing and I'm moving a little slow, but that's okay with moving. Thank you, Mark, for inviting me here. Last year we came down, I gave up my anniversary to be at your event. I got to recognize my fellow board member here tonight, Shira Lewis, and her husband Eric. Tonight is their anniversary. I still live in New Jersey, but for the last 8 years, I'm proud to say that I am a Palm Beach County resident.
There you go.
Because this is a state that supports Israel, not just our politicians, but our people. You know, we're in such a divided time, and we're here with politicians from both sides of the aisle. And we're here in a place with the whole Jewish community here, conservative, reform, Orthodox, everybody sitting together, because sometimes we're our own worst enemies. But Israel Bonds believes in supporting the state of Israel. We've been the same organization for 70 years, whether the right is in power, the left is in power. It doesn't matter. We are the same organization. We believe in the support of the state of Israel, period. And you all tonight are showing that support. All together, politicians, Jews, and non-Jews here, thank you all, because we are truly a family. And I really want to thank everybody for that. I'm so deeply moved by everybody that's here, and this is great to be part of this. Your investment in Israel Bonds during this critical time is important. Israel's economy is down, there's no tourism, people aren't working, they're fighting. So we are helping to support what they need for what they're missing. But this is not going to end, because hopefully the war will end soon, and then we have to rebuild. We have kibbutzes to rebuild in the south. We have 300,000 displaced people in the north that need to get back home, and we need to re-energize things.
So your support for Israel bonds is important and will continue to be important, and every bond is important. $36, anything is important, because not only are the numbers there, and the numbers, as Donnie just told you, are great, but there's strength in numbers, and it's very important to show strength and that we are all supporting. I'm sure our politicians here are doing their job, but it'll make it easier for them to do their job if they see that we're supporting Israel too. They will support us if we support ourselves. So thank you to all of the honorees here tonight, to all of the synagogues that are here tonight, to all of our political friends and leaders, to Mark Rubin for organizing this, to my partner Dani Naveh, Stuart, Zev, everybody that's here. Thank you for being here. Enjoy the evening, and I appreciate each and every one of you.
Thank you, Andy. Well, now we come to the part where we have our community-wide honoree, Tom Nadler, and we just can't have one person to present Tom with his award tonight. We need two. Now, you heard of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. You heard of Laurel and Hardy. Mo, Larry, and Curly, I guess I'll be Curly. But to present the award to Tom, I want to invite our great State Attorney, Dave Ehrenberg, and my dear friend, Joe Abruzzo, the CFO of Florida.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Sorry, Joe. No, come on. Palm Beach County Clerk and Controller, Joe Abruzzo.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mark. I'm Dave Ehrenberg, State Attorney for Palm Beach County for another 6 weeks. Yes, I'm what you call a kosher lame duck. And it is just so heartwarming to be surrounded by 500 of my mishpucha here from all walks of life, all political affiliations. And we're joined by people who are not of the Jewish faith, but are here because they have such a strong connection to the state of Israel that they joined us tonight. And to them I say thank you. It means the world to us. It means the world to us. There's one person in particular I'd like to ask to stand up, and that is my successor, who I worked hard to support, but she got there to be elected the next state attorney. She's one of my chief assistant state attorneys, top-notch prosecutor, Alexia Cox. Now, Alexia, stand up because I want to show you something. Alexia. If you can look to the audience, please, because I want you to see on Alexia's lapel, she has the yellow Jewish star that says never again. And just, yes. And just, Joe's wearing it. And just so you know, Alexia's not wearing that just because she's here tonight. I can tell you, she wears it every single day. She wears it in every audience, to every group. She wears it when there are no Jews. She's everywhere wearing that. Thank you, Alexia. So, we're here to honor Tom Nadler. Tom is someone who is proud to be Jewish. He honors our faith. He honors the generations of Jews who came before us, those who were persecuted for their faith, those who escaped annihilation, and those who did not. And out of the ashes of the Shoah came the miracle of the state of Israel. And that is something that Tom has worked for years to support, to make sure that there is a strong, stable, safe Jewish state, a state the size of New Jersey, in a very hostile neighborhood, with a world that has gone mad, that has taken the side of the millions of people who want to destroy it. The only democracy in the Middle East, our best ally in the world. And yet sometimes it just seems that it's our own people sometimes joining the attackers, the haters, the anti-Semites, either wittingly or unwittingly. We had a vote this week where a Jewish senator, I'll name names, Bernie Sanders, By the way, I know I'm not supposed to be negative on the bima. That's a sacrilege. But, Rabbi, I don't think it's Lashon Hora if I'm just restating the news. Okay, he's giving me a ambivalent ruling, but I'll just say this. You had Bernie Sanders and Brian Schatz of Hawaii, and even John Ossoff, who voted to ban weapon sales to Israel. It's a shanda, and it hurts. But you know, they could have 1,000 Bernie Sanders on their side. I'd rather have one Tom Nadler. I'd rather have one Tom Nadler. They can have John Ossoff. I'd rather have Joe Abruzzo. Joe Abruzzo, our clerk and comptroller, and Juan, I'm so happy for you, and be like Joe. And you already are. Joe Abruzzo has invested more money into Israel bonds than any other community in the entire world. Think about that. Think about that. And you know what? He's been attacked for it. He's been sued over it. There's a lawsuit against him to stop this. And I know this is going to shock you, but the plaintiffs in that lawsuit filed the lawsuit anonymously. That's the legal version of the people wearing masks attacking Jews on the streets. Joe's withstood that. It does not matter. And so just when you're feeling down, I know it can be demoralizing when you see all the enemies, people who we thought were our allies, turn against us in our time of need, in a time when Israel is fighting a 7-front war. But just take solace and take hope, knowing that Palm Beach County is leading the fight for the state of Israel in the world, and the person leading the way in Palm Beach County is a guy named Abruzzo.
My pleasure, Dave. We have to give it up one more time for Dave Ehrenberg. He has been an incredible state attorney, historic state attorney. When the nation needs legal advice, especially on anti-Semitism, who do the national news outlets call? They call Dave Ehrenberg to get his opinion, because his opinion is the one that matters throughout the United States. And Alexi, I'm so glad you are here with us to continue that work, especially those who truly have an intent of harming anybody in Palm Beach County, but the Jewish people, knowing that everybody here has your back means the world. Well, we are here today to honor an incredible individual in Tom Naveh. And Tom, he does not like to be talked about. And I even saw in his bio, it really doesn't do him justice of the work that he's done, the way he has put his life on the line for Floridians and for the state of Israel. Tom, as an Israeli, worked in Israeli intelligence. But then he came here to Palm Beach County, where he spent years as a Broward Sheriff's deputy. And what he will never tell you, but what I will share, don't get upset, he has truly put his life on the line. Tom has been shot in the face in the line of duty. Tom has been stabbed in the line of duty. Tom has put himself through the worst physical ailments you can imagine as a frontline police officer, protecting the citizens of us in South County. In Palm Beach County, he runs a division that truly is the watcher for all of us. It's one of the frontline positions. He oversees a tremendous amount of sheriff's deputies. But aside from his work in PBSO and in Broward County Sheriffs and in Israel, he is a philanthropist. He is out there every week trying to help those who do not have that much to succeed in their lives. But I will tell you one thing that I learned quickly about Tom once I got to know him as a near dear friend. It does not matter if you are rich or poor, a CEO or an intern, the sheriff himself or a rookie deputy. If you call Tom at 1, 2, 3, 4 in the morning and you need help, he will be there in 2 seconds flat before you even hang up the phone. And if you're across the nation, he will be boarding a plane, not even asking why. You are a rare gem, Tom. And to be up here to state that means the world, and you mean the world to me and so many in this room. Tom's work will never stop. We talk often about what the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years will be. Tom has a vision to continue work, to continue helping people throughout his entire life. And with further ado, one of our great leaders throughout the state of Florida and throughout our nation, Tom Naveh. But I must say this, Union Naveh, he and his wife Union helped so many people.
Good evening, everybody. Tom Naveh, my name is Tomer. I was born and raised in Israel. And I want to start by thanking one of the most important people in my life, my wife here, Yunia. Can you please stand up? But she lets me go out there at 2 o'clock in the morning or whatever I need to go, and I get those phone calls, and she goes, "Get off your phone." I go, "Someone's calling. I don't know who it is. I gotta go." So I woke up this morning and I was like, "I gotta write a speech." And she said, "Yes, you do." And I said, "Okay." So I sat down there, I go, "You're the lawyer, why don't you write a speech?" And then I got an unfortunate phone call this morning, so it's a great day and a very sad day. I had to respond to the vehicle homicide that some of our deputies had perished this morning. And I want to thank my guys that are out here tonight. They've been out there all day working, putting on the flash with us, and they're the ones that are out there doing this business all day long. I do appreciate this. It's not needed, Mark, but I'm very, very honored to get this. Israel is very important to me. I am a Holocaust grandchild of a Holocaust survivor who died at the age of 102, who lost most of his family in Israel. And it's been very important when every time Mark calls and says, "Tom, I need security, I need cops," we come out here and support and make sure that our guys are safe. And I do this every day to make sure that our kids, my Jewish kids, I got 3 of my daughters here. I got Stephanie, Gabby, and Karen here tonight with us. My son's at University of Florida studying. So we want to make sure that everybody's safe, and there's been someone by my side that's going every single day and making sure we get things done in the state of Florida, in the Senate, in the House, and in Tallahassee, and in Washington. It's Mr. Louis Stahl. Thank you so much for all you do for the Jewish community and everything else. And Jamie, you're right there with him, stepping up to the plate and helping out. There's a lot of dignitaries here that I'd like to thank. I'm not going to go through that, but there's one person that I really would like to thank. It's Jimmy. Jimmy, when I said, "Please come here, I'm getting honored," and he said, "Tom, I'm going on vacation." And he goes, "Well, let me see what I can do." So the family's heading out to vacation, and he's here, and he's going to meet him tomorrow, but I did promise him I'm going to cuddle with him tonight. I'm going to take a picture. Thank you so much. And again, Alexia, thank you so much for being here. I know you got big shoes to fill right over here. We're still figuring out what you're going to do. Joe, you're a mentor. You're a mensch. You're my inspiration here in this county, so thank you for everything that you do. And thank you, everybody, for coming here tonight. I really appreciate you.
We're going to excuse our state attorney. He's going to be on TV shortly. Surprising, right? So, we now get to we have such an amazing surprise for you to come. You won't believe it. You'll tell your grandchildren one day. This is the Matchler part of our program. Matthew Matchler will be presenting something very shortly, but before I do that, I want to say that Matthew's father, Shelley, and dear friend, and the Gardens Funeral and Cemetery will be donating their services to the sheriff deputies that died in service to the community. As they do for all first responders. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ladies. Now, my introduction to Matthew Mashler. I feel I'm getting old because I knew you when you were a kid. It's my pleasure to introduce Matthew Mashler to make a special award presentation. Matthew is the Vice Chair of the South Palm Beach County Israel Bonds Campaign. Many of you know Matt as a successful entrepreneur, businessman, philanthropist, and really all-around great guy. What you may not know is that he is also a wrestling impresario. Matthew has successfully promoted championship wrestling matches right here in Boca Raton, Florida, believe it or not. So Matthew, would you please come forward to make your presentation?
Thank you, Mark. I'm delighted to have the privilege of presenting a special award that we have made for Palm Beach Clerk and Comptroller, Joe Bruzzo. It is great to recognize a champion, and when Mark told me about this purchase, it was champion was a word that we said a lot, and even the President of Israel, Isaac Herzog, called Joe a champion. He said, I quote, "It gives me great pleasure to relay to you my gratitude and appreciation to you as Comptroller of Palm Beach County, as Palm Beach County has assumed the title of the largest holder of Israel bonds in the world." And, so as Mark mentioned, I promote wrestling shows here in Boca, and I'm familiar with many title holders, and the largest purchaser of Israel bonds in the world deserves a championship belt. It says the Israel bond logo in the center. It says Israel bond champion, Joe Bruzzo. And we'll take more pictures. So it says Israel Bond Champion, Joe Bruzzo, has the Palm Beach County seal on one side and the clerk controller seal on the other. Mark said, what are we going to do? Every time we're going to make a belt like this, and we learned about the newly elected comptroller of Miami-Dade. Maybe we'll issue some kind of challenge. If $1 billion, you too could have a championship belt with your name on it. So, thank you very much for everything you do.
Thank you. And Mark told me I was going to have a moment to make remarks, and extremely surprised, and that it was one of the coolest things I ever have received. But I will tell you, I truly accept that on behalf of my staff. Dave mentioned the lawsuits. We've had extensive protests, things that those in our office that help make this happen. So I accept that, and I want to name them on behalf of Felicia Landerman, John Gruffier, Radcliffe Brown, Amy Borman, Shannon Ramsey-Chessman, the entire clerk team of finance that has made this reality. And I accept this, and we need to get a picture on behalf of, most importantly, the County Commission of Palm Beach County. None of this will be happening without them. I just want to add some context to it. When we make the bond purchases, I am capped at certain amounts. So first, a financial committee, to simplify it, looks and reviews our requests to up the cap. The chair of that is our former mayor and county commissioner, Greg Weiss, who is here today. And then it goes up to the entire commission. And when we went for our first increase, former commissioner, but he's here with us today, I think he's here, Bob Weinroth, along with now Commissioner Sarah Baxter, who support us through and through to make sure we can keep investing this money. It is incredible to stand with what I highly consider and always say, and will always say, our greatest ally, Israel. But the truth of the matter is, these are incredible financial investments for our taxpayers and our residents of Palm Beach County. Again, to add context, when I took office, our entire treasury of the county, which is in the billions of dollars, was earning $27 million a year total. We have 15% invested currently in Israel bonds, as you heard, $700 million. That is paying us $35 million a year. So 15% of our portfolio is doing more than 100% of our portfolio when I first took office. So we have to get a picture, commissioners, later with the belt. That is your belt as much as it is the clerk's office. I see, and I have to color, because to show you how much I did not know about this award, I just got back from my honeymoon, and I see my wife Abby went out because our son is home, so she was going to grab the car because I have to get home to be with our son. But I want to mention her briefly and tell you a true story in this regard. My wife Abby is a recently retired police officer from Columbus, Ohio. She worked frontline Columbus, Ohio. And one of my big fears in the world of her on the front line was not her handling hostile individuals or gang-related matters, because the training kicks in for our first responders and our police. It's the unorthodox things of highway stops and somebody texting while driving or drunk or not paying attention that hits our officers on the side of the road and takes their lives. I conveyed that to her from the minute we started dating. About a month after of me conveying that, they ride together in Columbus and Partners. Her partner, when she was off duty, was on duty, responding to an incident on the highway, and someone not paying attention, I believe texting while driving, hit him. And he spent over a half year in the hospital and will never be the same. So, what happened today to the PDSO and to our frontline officers that are in the room, thank you for what you do. I've lived through it as a spouse now of a frontline officer. And one more time, let's give it up for our police officers. Dave mentioned the pin that Alexia, myself, and so many of you are wearing. And I did also want to add some context because Louis and Helene Stahl came up with this pin. They are the ones that get them for everybody. And I cannot tell you how many times I always have to keep coming back to Louis and asking him for more because people ask me about it and I give them away. And that just says to the heart of where our community's at and how much Israel means to Palm Beach County. Juan, I am so glad you are here today. And I'm going to take credit for Juan regardless of what he does, because I am so privileged to be the one that introduced him to Mark and to Israel Bonds. Juan is just taking over. He was the clerk for the past few years, as you heard, appointed by the governor. But Miami-Dade clerk is now the comptroller for the first time. So he is going to be the largest treasurer outside of Jimmy in the entire state. So Juan, I'm so happy you came up, you and your wife, to visit with Israel Bonds, and that it's an incredible announcement. My goal is to lose that belt. I want to lose that title. I want it gone. I want you to eventually have that. We have a little over around $5 billion, give or take. He has, what, $12 billion? 9. Okay, well, I'm going to say 12. But, Jimmy, you have been a brother of mine. We served in the legislature. I was fortunate enough to be chair of the Public Service Commission that sent his name up to the governor to get appointed, which launched him eventually. It was his runway to the CFO. But most importantly, you've been a dear friend. And this is Jimmy's last term by being turned out, but I know you have big things ahead of you, and I cannot wait to see where you have next. The state of Israel and the Jewish Americans what I'm about to say is not debatable. The contributions in healthcare, science, financial instruments, and institutions, per capita, there is not a closer country or people in America that have contributed more for everybody throughout the world than the Jewish people of the entire world. When what happened on October 7th, and some of you have heard me say this, but I will be saying this for my rest of my time, or my rest of my days, truly. If what happened where, if a neighboring country of America paratrooped in, tunneled under our cities, raped our women, killed little babies, there would be nothing left of that nation if that was done to America. It would be gone. I separate the investments completely from my political stance. And to show you how much, or to explain the why as well, and I want to state this because I know those who have been wishing and assuming and wishing me ill will, which quite frankly is terrorist sympathizers and the far, far left wing of my own party. We just ran for re-election. Those, thank you for your incredible support. In a county where, I'm a Democrat, in a county where Donald Trump just lost it by 4,000, we almost received 50,000 votes. But I did not use our investments in Israeli bonds one time during the campaign. No campaign material and no literature. I did not campaign on this issue because it wasn't political to me. And I wanted for the naysayers to not be able to use that in a lawsuit, or for those to never say, oh, he does it because he represents a large Jewish population. No, I did not send out one material, one communication touting what we've done. This is for us, this is for the residents to just receive that extra dollar, and this is for our greatest ally, the state of Israel, to have the resources they need to defend their country. So I have to thank my dear, now a brother to me, Mark Rubin, for working with me to allow me to do this. Dani, Stu, everybody from Israeli Bonds, everybody, for allowing me to be your partner. But most of all, I want to thank everybody in this audience. Without you, none of this wouldn't be happening. For the years of investing and supporting Israel, there would be no Israel Bonds without you. You are, we talk about the front line, you are the front line to the financial resources that Israel needs. Thank you so much. Thank you. This is your belt as well. I appreciate it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this evening. We'll see you next year, Thursday, November 20th, 2025. At Temple Bethel of Boca Raton. It's their turn next because, as you know, we always alternate. So please join us in the social hall. We have refreshments, goodies, nasharai. Have a great time. Please sit next to somebody from a different stream of Judaism. Make new friends because together makes us the strongest. Thank you, and Am Israel Chai.